Okay, that got me thinking about this other thing. But yeah, I saw Serena today and I hung out with her and her friends and we played volleyball, which was super fun. But she was like, "Oh yeah, how's Jackie? Like, how's everything?" And in my brain, I was just like, "Fuck!" Like, I don't know. I just feel like Jackie and I aren't as good friends anymore. And I know I've talked about this before. And I think a part of me is just like, "Fuck!" Like, maybe you just got to deal with the fact that you've lost this relationship and like things come and go, and that's fine. I feel like that's just life, but it sucks because it's like it's not some external factor that's like pulling us apart. Like, it's not like I'm moving or she's not here in the same city as me. It's just that I don't know, we like don't spend that much time together anymore, and I don't like, I'm trying to make an effort and I feel like she's trying to make an effort, but neither of us are like willing to put in like a lot or like that much. A part of me just wanted to like tell Serena like everything. A part of me was also like, I'm just gonna say like, oh, Jackie's been super busy and like I haven't really seen her all that much. And I think that's true. Like, it's not like I'm lying, but it's like I have this like impulsive need to just like say what I really feel. And I think that's why maybe people think that I become really fast friends with people, is because I think I'm so open with sharing my thoughts and feelings and being vulnerable in that way. I don't know, maybe I should change and not always like spew my inner stream of conscious thoughts. But yeah, it didn't seem like the right time or place anyways to be like, yeah, here's all this like emotional trauma dumping whatever shit that I'm dealing with right now. It's not even that big of a deal, but I do think I should just get better at like dealing with the loss of things and realizing that like everything does have seasons, and even if things don't ever go back to the way they were, like, just be thankful that I had her at my life at that time and I had so many like really fun memories with her. I'm like talking as if she's like gone, but I don't know, things are like always changing. Yeah, that's life. Okay, I'm at U Village because Mindy wants to go shopping and she's at a store right now and I'm just chilling. But I wanted to use this time to like talk about therapy and what I talked about with my therapist, and then also what I talked to Roy about in regards to like feeling bad at work, kind of. And then also one other thing that Mindy and I talked about today, and I feel like my brain is just all over the place because I really do want to like vlog about it, but I just like haven't had the time to do it. So I'm gonna try to do it now really quick. Okay, so I talked a little bit about Tycho with her, but I think that situation is more or less resolved and I'm trusting that it'll work out in the end. But in terms of my issues with other relationships, like Jackie, for example, I feel like we won't ever be as good friends as we were before. In an ideal world, I think that's what I want, but given everything that's happened, I think that's impossible because I can't like unknow or unfeel the things that I do feel. I don't want to go into too much detail about maybe like what it is I feel in regards to Jackie, but I think for me it's just really hard to separate like someone as a friend versus like someone that I see at work and how they're at work, because I think it's true, like if you like see something that you find a little bit like unappealing or unattractive in someone, you're gonna be less attracted to them. That's a really bad analogy, but like basically I think that there are some decisions that she's made at work or maybe how she is at work and I don't maybe agree with. I don't know, just can't get past that make me feel bad, so that when I see her I get a little bit like annoyed, and I hate that I feel that way, but that's just how I feel. And I think I just need to learn to accept that that's how I feel. Sorry, it's like I want to be more specific, but at the same time, like I don't want to talk shit about someone I really do care about and I still do love. I just like, I don't see me forgetting about that or like, I don't know. It's just hard. It's hard. It's not that I think that she's like bad at her job at all. Like, that's not what I think by any means. I just think that the way that she carries herself and how she's maybe developed relationships and how she's made certain decisions at work, like, I think that's just what's frustrating to me, and I can't get myself to like confront her about it because I don't feel like it's worth me putting in the energy into something that I ultimately feel like I should accept that I don't really want to put in energy into anymore. And I think that makes me feel guilty because I feel like I'm being a bad friend, and it's like if a friendship fails, it's like half on me. I think in the past I have tried to give her feedback on work related things, but I don't think she was as receptive to it as like stuff that I've said to her that has made me feel bad about like us being friends or whatever. I don't know if that made sense, but yeah, it's just like, it just seems like there's no point in me telling her or talking to her about it because I don't think she would really even care or listen, because I've tried in the past. But the reason that I also feel guilty is that I was telling my therapist, like, I feel like my friends are so accepting of me and they let me be myself, and I can't do the same for Jackie. Like, I can't see how she is at work and try to be accepting of that and like know that I'm not gonna like everything about everyone and just like be okay with that. And my therapist was like, acceptance is not about like giving in, and it's not like you just have to deal with it. Acceptance is like taking negative feelings and emotions and then tolerating the distress of them, and everyone's tolerance is different, and like the thresholds are different. Like, people care about different things, and so when people, I think, are accepting of me, I can't like in a way compare that to how I am accepting or lack of accepting to other people, because it's just different. And I think another thing that my therapist said was, in any relationship, if you feel bad, like, that's just how you feel, and you can't really change it, but you can like tolerate the distress of it if it makes you feel bad. And like, she said this thing to me, she was like, what are you gonna do, like try harder? Like, you can't like try harder to make yourself feel better, because that's just how you feel. You just have to feel it out entirely and then figure it out and move forward. But like in any relationship, like even with Alex and now with Jackie, it's like you can't just force yourself to try harder, you know? Like, you can't just force yourself to feel better. And I think that's like the one thing that I'm trying to be at peace with now, is just this whole concept of like radical acceptance. And even though like I know, and I feel like I know what acceptance is, like I feel like I have to keep reminding myself, like if I do something bad or whatever, like people don't agree with it, it's not that they're accepting me and they're just giving in and they're like, okay, Jessica's just gonna be this way. It's that they feel bad, they do something about it, or they're just like, it's fine, and then move on. And ultimately, like, if someone feels so bad about how I am or my character or my values or whatever, then they just won't be my friend anymore, and I have to be okay with that. And so far, like, I don't think I've necessarily been on the receiving end of it, except maybe actually a little bit with Jackie, but I think I'm feeling that with Jackie, and it's like, I don't know, feel the need to, in a way, waste this energy on this relationship, and I have to like be okay with that. This is kind of related to the thing I was talking about with Mingy earlier, where like we were talking about putting people on pedestals and like really valuing what certain people think of you, and like then we started to talk about how like this concept of like being out of someone's league. And I think that just got me thinking, like I talked about it with Rand and Jonathan yesterday too, where like from the get-go I always thought like Alex was out of my league, and I think that just like set the entire relationship for failure. And I really don't know why I thought that way. Like, I think maybe because he's so much better at volleyball than me, that naturally I felt out of his league, because that's his entire life and that was like a huge part of my life. And I also feel like, I've said this before, when I met him I was in such a like insecure mindset, like place in my life, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because like I still feel like Seattle was like new to me and I hadn't really like figured out my friends, and I just felt very, I don't know, not sure of myself. And I think that all just like contributed to how like the relationship didn't work out. But I still yet put this like version of him that I met on this pedestal, and like my friends on this pedestal, and like it's like why do that? I think I've said this a lot in the past, like I trust my friends' opinions a lot more than mine, and so I'll usually like validate all of my big decisions with someone that I trust. And I think over time I'm like learning to trust myself. But yeah, I think I want to try to catch myself when I'm doing that, or like really putting people on a pedestal and like believing that everything they say is kind of like the truth, versus like taking in all the information and all of the thoughts and opinions and then like really making it my own, or like making my own decision. Okay, literally this past week I felt like I had such a crazy week because I did like so many different things. I don't even think I like recorded it because I was just like bleh. But I also felt like my brain was just constantly like blah, 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 blah. But I mean, it usually is all the time, but like more so this past week. But one thing I was trying to figure out was like a workplace accommodation, because I don't want to be forced to go into work and see all these people that just like annoy the shit out of me. And I wanted to like either have a designated area where I can just like not be around everyone if I do have to come in, or just like work remotely. Because it is true, like if you look at the statistics of how I've done, my best performance was when everyone was forced to be remote, like during COVID and during the pandemic. And sure, there were probably other factors that like went into how well I did or whatnot, but I just do think that I excel at work when I'm working remotely, because in a way nobody can see like how I am or who I am, because I don't think there's like a me and like a work me. Like I think I'm just me all the time, and I think because I'm so like playful or joking around all the time, or like I don't know, goofing off a lot, like people just perceive that to mean that I'm like incompetent or unprofessional or incapable of work. I don't really know. This was me kind of speculating or guessing. Yeah, I also think that like if I'm annoyed at work, it'll really show in person, but like through a screen it's like a lot harder to tell, or easier for me to hide. And I think that's only going to be beneficial to me, because I'm so bad at like not showing how I feel, especially if it's negative, or I just like wear my heart on my sleeve. And especially when it comes to work, because like I think I just like don't give a shit as much, and so therefore I just like let things slide. And I know that that's bad, and if anything I should like be better about having a good attitude at work, but I just like can't, because I just don't care. Whereas like if it's with like my friends or something, I think I just care more about relationships. Like that's just how things are in my life, like priority wise, and so I try harder to put on a good face, if that makes sense. So anyways, this is all related because I saw like Victor, I'm not supposed to say his name, but whatever, my my skip manager, whatever, my old manager. I just get like physically so annoyed and like angry when I see him, and it's so bad. And it's not like he did anything explicitly wrong to me. It's just like there's so many things about him that just like I hate and I'm annoyed at, and I'll talk about it in a second. But I think I just like have PTSD, because I think when I got fired from my first job, it was a lot of like maybe sexism and favoritism and blah blah blah, and like managers not being able to like control their biases. And so when I see Victor playing such hard favorites, it annoys me. But it's just like annoying for me, because I feel like I have to work hard and prove that I'm actually like intelligent or competent in order to like succeed. Okay, let me process for a second. Like, I get if you're a manager and you low-key play favorites with the people that you think are good at their job. And I, granted, maybe think that's why Victor hates me, because he thinks that I suck at my job. But anyways, like, it's just like, I feel like managers are trained to be more aware of their biases. And I know you're never going to escape biases, because everyone's biased. That's just human nature. But it's like the same way that like cops should be trained to control or manage their racial biases, especially because they're handling guns. It's like the same way, like, I don't know, like I feel like managers at Google who are L7 or 8 or whatever the fuck he is, like really fucking high up, like they should just be better at not being so biased and not playing such hard favorites. And when I see it happen at like Google, I'm like, what the fuck is like wrong with you? Like, how are you even like, I also feel like he has like such low emotional awareness or intelligence that I'm like, how the fuck did you get so high up? But I think what's annoying is that like I do know that people think highly of him, and I have seen good sides of him, and I feel like there are conversations I've had with him where I really enjoyed. And I felt better afterwards because I like came to him with the problem and he was able to like help me reconcile or whatever. So it's not that he's like totally bad, but it's just like so annoying when I hear them talk about this bullshit small talk. And also when he's like playing such hard favorites, and also I don't know, just him as an entire stupid being, it just like fucking annoys me. But yeah, I was just feeling so bad that I was like in a way venting to Roy, because I was like, Roy, you love Victor, so can you just like help me understand why I just feel this way or what I should do about it, especially because it's at work and it's like, fuck, like how can I like fix this? I kind of just needed him to like give me another perspective. And what he told me was like, when he was a manager and he had just 6 reports, it was hard for him to really give everyone an equal amount of time. And it's like I can tell myself like, oh, life's just unfair, like just get over it and move on, right? Like people are gonna like other people more and that's fine, but telling myself that doesn't really help or make me feel better. So when Roy was saying like, just with some reports it's like maybe easier to get along with them and easier to have time go by like having stupid conversations and small talk, like that's how it is, you know. And like you can try hard to schedule time with people that you don't get along with as well to try to like offset your biases, but still it's like, I don't know, that's just how it is. And when you're like that high up, it's like you don't have time to really treat everyone the same, and naturally you are just gonna have favorites, and I just kind of have to suck it up and deal with it. It's like Victor and I don't naturally get along just because we're different people or whatever, and he would have to spend extra time to like in a way get along with me than he would. That's just not realistic. So I don't know, it's kind of like whatever, you have to like understand that perspective, because as someone that's that high up, I know he is really limited on time. So yeah, and clearly I'm not willing to put in time into the relationship, so why should I care? I don't know, I think it's like good for me to take the step to not have to see him, and to know that when I do see him I will get annoyed, especially because I hate that in a way I feel like I'm envious, get so much farther than me in life and in work, able to like be nice to people he works with. I say that out loud and I feel like I sound like a bitch, but yeah, I just had a really hard time dealing with it on Thursday, because when I saw him I was like, fuck, like I literally said, like this is so stupid, but I was with Nick and we hit the button to go in the elevator, and then it opens and I see like, and I literally walk in the elevator and I'm like, fucking shit, and I say that out loud, and everyone knows that I'm unhappy, and everyone else is probably like, why the fuck did she just say that? But like some people all knew why I said that, and I was just like in a pissy mood after, and I'm just like annoyed that I'm annoyed. That's why I was like, okay, maybe if I talk to Roy about it I'll feel better, because me vlogging to myself like life's unfair, get over it, like wasn't gonna help in that time. So yeah, I think in the future like I just have to accept that this is how it is and make the most out of it by, you know, filing a workplace accommodation or like out of sight, out of mind, like not really interact with. Yeah, at least I'm doing something about it, but it sucks how strongly I feel, like how much like the negative emotions like make me feel just because of Victor. And like I feel like Victor is such a fucking like small part of my like actual life. Like why do I feel so bad? Which sucks, but that's life. And yeah, I mean, there are other reasons I don't like Victor, but I think this is the biggest one, is the whole like favoritism thing. And I don't know, life is hard, work is hard, like interpersonal relationships and work is just so much harder to me than like life. But I don't know, that's what it is and that's what I've signed up for, so I just have to make the best of it, and I think things will be fine. But in therapy I did like mention it a little bit, because I needed her help to file a workplace accommodation, to fill out like some medical form requesting it, because I was just like, I really felt like it was hurting my productivity, because all I could think about was how annoyed I was at Victor and why I was like, fuck, I don't want to think about this. But yeah, I think that's why I scheduled like another session with her, like after 1 week instead of after 2 weeks, which is the usual cadence we do. But yeah, I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm trying to make the most out of every situation I'm in, and I think I'm getting better at it. But yeah, I feel like I should cut myself some slack because I'm making progress, and this is like a little bit of an annoying frustration setback maybe, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to meet up with Mingdi again, and then we're gonna go watch a movie later. Okay, bye.